guys, welcome back to the Kit and Krysta Podcast, episode 25.
It's a big milestone.
Woo, quarters of a way to 100.
Is that a, what is the anniversary of 25 years? Or of 25? Gold? Silver?
Oh,
Platinum?
I don't know.
What is it?
Diamond?
I
That's
don't know.
60. That's not it. Anyways, exciting to be at episode 25 already. It feels like time has just flown by. We are going to be telling you guys a very magical story about a weekend, a summer, picture this, a summer weekend with the one and only Yuji Horii.
Creator of Dragon Quest.
Signer of the slime.
Wonderful.
Yes, it was truly a magical summer weekend that I shan't ever forget. So we're going to tell you guys all about it this week.
Was it only a weekend?
I think it might have been a week.
I think it was like a week.
Yeah, it was.
We experienced this differently.
It was fantastic. I'm just having like a euphoric moment thinking about
good.
him and that, and it's wonderful. Thank you so much for our wonderful Patreon subscribers for making everything we do on this channel possible. Exciting month. We announced new tiers today.
Right.
For Patreon, we have now a entry-level level 1 tier, which is at the $2 amount. And we also have like a kind of a superstar high tier at the $50 amount. Of course, we have all our other 3 tiers available. So hopefully you'll find a place that is right for you. And of course, every dollar that comes from Patreon goes into literally creating this show. So
yeah,
thank you so much.
We even have some people who, as of this morning, have signed up for that superstar tier.
I'm so excited.
If we can get all of the information together, we can give them the big shout out when we do our graduation ceremony.
That's true. Yes. I think we should make a valiant effort.
Yes.
But we are so super excited for new tiers. We've already seen tons of new people joining just as of this morning. So welcome. Virtual hug to all the new members and all you superstars. We're so excited to just involve you guys more in the production of the show. And it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. It's going to be great.
It's a very hands-on. That's what's exciting to me about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think we're going to get some good advice. We need it.
I think we need it. I think we're going to get some fresh ideas, some good advice.
I mean, the well is certainly dry when it comes to you.
What?
I mean, so help me.
My well,
that's my request to the superstars tier. It's like, what do you want to do this week? I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. It's like, wow, give me something to work with here. Finally, some new creative juice.
That's not true. The juice floweth, runneth, and floweth.
It's a shoulder shrug.
Anyways, but we're really, really excited. And of course, there's other fun benefits. We have, the Discord, which is just litty all the time. We have...
And that's at the level 1 tier, too.
That's right.
Yes, everybody gets in on that.
Yeah, the level 1 tier can get... It's really fun there. It's like, I'm very entertained by all your conversations. It's fun to jump in on all of the discussions happening there. We had a request recently to add a pet channel. Let's add a pet channel.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of us have really cute pets that we want to show off. And it's really cool. And then we have our Q&As, bonus Q&As weekly. And of course, so cool at the level 1 tier, you get to submit questions for the Q&A we do on the podcast. And I'm excited to get new people, new questions. And if you have a burning question, this is a great way to get it in front of us. Yeah.
We have so much news at the top of the show about ourselves. I'm just so excited to get through this. We just talked about the new Patreon tiers. We also got an exciting confirmation that our PAX panel is happening.
Every time we talk about it, I get a little bit more nervous. So
I don't know why. So let's talk about it.
I'm having like a heart palpitation at this very moment.
So this is the PAX. It's in Seattle. It's going to be our first trip back to Seattle since several years.
Since the Great Resignation? No, just kidding.
No, since pre-pandemic.
Yeah, back to the old stomping grounds.
It's on September 3rd.
Yes.
We were one of the first panels that they actually announced ahead of the whole, show schedule being announced. I was like, well, okay, so we're gonna have this panel. Let's wait until they put out the full schedule, and then we will, do some promotion about it. They just tweeted it out,
and
it's like, what?
Like they included like a nice photo up there.
Yeah.
I was like, they're on it.
Well,
like,
I submitted a lot of information.
I know you did, but they also like got it all together and
Thank
made
goodness,
it very like it was perfectly done. And I was so
the 2 panels that have been confirmed for us and Reggie.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're really excited to be back in Seattle. Excited to be going back to like a big gaming show. Like we haven't been to one since pre-pandemic. Weirdly, our last show right before the pandemic was PAX East. And we did a live show there. And then it was like shut down for 2.5, almost 3 years.
Right,
so
right.
Very fitting for us to come back for a live show at PAX West and do that. And we're going to be doing a live recording of the podcast. Of course, we're going to add some fun little bells and whistles to that and make it really special and really fun. We will be recording it, of course, for those of you that can't make it. It's now, live streamed.
According to the people at PAX, this is something that's out of our control. It will be streamed. Oh my God. That's what they've told us as of now. That could change. If it changes, don't blame us. Now, let's talk about your concerns here. So it's going to be streamed for once. Yes, fine.
Oh my God.
Again, how is that? I mean, this is basically live to tape. We do this podcast.
We don't edit
anything out.
Ever.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were editing it, my gosh, it would just be take the shears to this, cut out this, do some AI to make me say something offensive.
Deepfake?
Yeah, deepfake
I'm
me.
gonna deepfake you.
So what's the deal? Who cares if it's streamed? Big deal.
I don't know. I just get nervous when it's.
All right, let's ratchet up your nervousness. We asked the people at PAX, how big is the room that we're in? How big is the room? Because we just want to know. It's nice to know just to prepare. And they said, it's quite a large room.
They said it's up to 850 people.
Well, that's what happens when you're the second panel confirmed. There's a reason for that.
I need the smelling salts. Give me the smelling salts.
Now we have done sessions at PAX before.
Not 850 people sessions.
We did a Metroid one.
Oh yeah,
that was fairly big. I don't know exactly how big that room was. That was pretty big.
That was probably like around that size.
Yeah.
I think you're right. But that was different.
So what's the deal?
I don't know.
Explain yourself.
I don't know. I get nervous. I know I'm gonna have fun.
You think nobody's gonna come?
I definitely think no one's gonna come.
Yeah.
I absolutely.
You're like breathing into a paper bag as we're walking up to this thing. But there's be a line of people.
Their mics are gonna be hot and nobody will be there. That's my fear.
Gosh.
You have to like deal with my anxiety leading up to it. As soon as we get there, as soon as we get into it, I always have a lot of fun.
Once we get going.
Yeah, once we get going. I always like.
It's a lot of panicking until then, though.
Exactly, it's panicking like up to the seconds, and then I'm just like a zombie afterwards because I have panicked for so many months that
it's
tiring.
It is tiring
from all the panicking. But anyways, if you're going to PAX, please come and help me with my anxiety.
Or watch the stream.
Yeah, and we'll upload it. Obviously,
yeah, that'll probably be our episode for the following week.
Yeah, we have some other fun things planned in Seattle as well. There's a lot of people in Seattle that we need to see. Very important people. Very special people to us.
You already rattled off like, well, here's a dozen people who we're going to be seeing, and I'm like, we're there for 48 hours. You understand?
It's just going to be endless drinks, like a revolving door of drinks.
That's what I told you. It's like we need a receiving parlor, like we're Prince Louis or something at Fontainebleau.
At the Fontainebleau.
Yes. And we will stay there.
And then y'all come to us.
And the visitors will come, and we will have our welcome, and then they'll leave, and then the next group will come. That's exactly how we'll do it.
Chicken as like a. But there's definitely some very, very important person. One particular
one
person.
Only?
Well, there's a lot of important people. There's
several.
one particular important person that we're going to be seeing, and I'm excited to see this person.
Yeah.
And you'll find out more. I'm just going to tease it. You know who I'm talking
about, what's the
right?
tease?
Anyways, okay.
Yeah. Name starts with Reg, ends with E.
Give it away.
Why not? Who cares? Jeez.
Initials are RFA. Wink, wink.
Come on.
All right, anyways. But that's going to be fun. We can't wait. We really can't wait. It's going to be really fun to go back to Seattle. Okay. Moving on, because we need to get through this show at some point. We're like in the beginning still. We have these mystery unboxings that we've been doing on YouTube Shorts.
We finally got through
the first
DS box.
Which was exciting. We found so many sealed games,
a lot of people
signed games.
We're on pins and needles waiting to see how to pull out of that box next.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I love it. This next box is very interesting. It was labeled Wii PS3.
Right.
And we found some goodies in there for sure. So we have like a new series, series that will be launching probably later this week. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's going to be fun. So look out for that.
Right.
All right.
This is some big news.
This is some big news. You have to tell them this news because you came up with the name.
Because you're nervous about this again too?
I'm a little nervous. I'm just I'm kind of nervous today in general.
You're a mess.
You need to like lay down or something. Put a cool washcloth.
Flop sweat. You just been wiping your brow all morning.
You need like a cool washcloth over the forehead.
You're a sloppy mess.
My land!
So a lot of people know the Kit and Krysta show is kind of the sister program to the Kit and Krysta podcast.
Oh, the sister.
Or whatever you choose to call it. Yeah. Those are the two main things that we do every week.
Yes.
We're going to be changing the name of that.
Yes, we know that the name is confusing.
Some people might say this is long overdue.
Yes.
Now listen. Our whole thought process with all this, again, after working at Nintendo for 13 years, is don't overthink these names. When we started this, it's like, this whole...
Don't get too cute with it.
This whole venture, like what kind of name could we call it? The Krysta Yang Vanity Project, the Kit Podcast, starring Krysta. There's so many different options. It's like, no, just keep it simple. Kit and Krysta Podcast, then we'll have this other thing called the Kit and Krysta Show. Yeah. But we have been hearing for a long time. People are like, I don't know the difference.
Yeah.
It's confusing. It's too similar.
Yeah, no, we get it.
And we thought, it's like, people will work through that, but we just keep hearing from people, so it's like, fine, we'll change it.
Yeah, no big deal. This is an evolving thing. We always knew that we're going to take suggestions, and it's really about you guys and what you guys want to see and hear anyway. Right. So we're changing it. The new name is, drum roll please.
Oh, I'm so excited about this.
You say it. Super
Kit and Krysta 64.
Woohoo!
Oh, yes.
It is very fun. We have a new logo. What? What's so funny?
They're gritted teeth.
No, I like it. It's great. No, just kidding. No, I've come around on this name. Yeah. It took me a little while. It was like a shower thought that you had. Yeah. You were literally like, this is the name. I was like, you feel strongly about this. We kind of like tooled around with other...
Again, brainstorm all sorts of names.
Yeah, and then you made a really good point. Like, you want this to not feel like generic, like anybody could have, and we want to keep obviously our names in it because we like us. And so, I've definitely, as I'm hearing it more, it feels right, like a little bit more like natural and stuff. Yeah. And I was making the new logo recently,
that's right.
And after I was writing out doing the logo design, I was like, okay, this actually looks pretty cool. So now I'm really excited, and hopefully it alleviates some of the confusion.
So the episode of that'll be out next week will have the new name.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And that's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun episode.
Beat it, Kit and Krysta show. Hit the showers. You're done.
Hit the bench. But yes, Super Kit and Krysta 64 coming at you every Tuesday. That's the schedule.
It's exciting. Yeah.
It's exciting. Get on board.
It's big news.
Get
on
board.
How much big news we have.
Get on board.
Yeah.
The hype train. We should have a hype train Patreon too. That'd be awesome.
That's fun. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
All right. A couple
So the final episode of the Kit and Krysta show is out now.
That's right.
That's with the Game Boy camera in San Francisco.
I love this episode.
I think so too. I think it's one of my favorite things we've ever done.
This is one of my favorite things we've ever done. It really combines, I think, our... you and I, we love traveling and just exploring places. Yeah. Even though this was on our home turf of San Francisco, it was actually really fun to go to these places that we've been to probably a dozen times, and seeing it through this very interesting lens of the Game Boy camera. Who knew that Game Boy camera could be so artistic?
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was just so much fun. It really made you see things a little bit differently, literally, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, just, it felt different with it, than just snapping a photo with your iPhone or something.
I'm surprised I don't see more people out there with a Game Boy camera.
I feel like I'm going to be bringing the Game Boy camera
It's obviously
around.
Not for everybody, but I think it's a worthwhile thing to have around with you.
It is. Yeah. And it's not that, it's easy to carry around.
Right.
Yeah. And, little things, it had, very interesting kind of, pre-Instagram filter type of ideas already like from like 20 whatever years ago. That's insane. Like we have a photo in there where it was like a 4-in-1 shot. Like Instagram had that like little grid thing that you could do, and the camera like does the swivel like you
do a selfie.
Yeah, and you have that now with the front facing and the back facing camera. It's like these ideas were all in the Game Boy camera. Who would have thought? That's really cool.
We need a Switch camera. We probably don't actually. We don't need that actually.
I mean,
no, there's no camera in there for a reason. It's unnecessary.
Okay.
No, this, we said these are places we've been dozens of times.
Yeah.
This is my last visit to Fisherman's Wharf in
for
San
the rest of
Francisco.
your
I was
life?
really,
Yeah.
I was really fed up with that
over
place.
it. Yeah.
There's nothing there.
There is nothing there. Yeah.
It was a Bubba Gump and like a TGI Fridays, and even the sea lions were not there.
Sea lions aren't there in the summertime. We learned.
Got a nice view of Alcatraz. That's the one thing it has going for it, but that's literally it.
Yeah, don't go there if you're
Don't
coming
go
to visit
there.
San
Yes,
Francisco. We highly do not recommend that.
No.
There's so many, like San Francisco, I would say, like, actually avoid all the main sort of attractions.
What? Like what?
Like, I feel like do you really need to go see, like
Alcatraz?
Alcatraz you should go see.
Alcatraz is cool. The Golden Gate Bridge?
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The cable cars? That's cool. I'm just shredding this into Swiss cheese right now.
But I was just going to say, like, there's other, like, more low-key things to visit. Like, all the different neighborhoods are really fun to visit. And, like, some of the other things that are not, like, a tourist spot, I guess.
You've completely contradicted yourself.
No, I haven't.
You said don't do the big tourist spots, and then I just rattled off a half dozen. You're like, yeah, those are great.
I said not all of them.
Just Fisherman's Wharf. Just don't go.
Okay, fine.
That's the big takeaway.
Anyways, it was so fun to just like hang out in the city with the Game Boy camera, and I don't know. I really liked editing that episode.
You did a great job.
That was like I'm learning so much about how to edit things these days, and I found that this is like my like love in life. Yeah. Like it was so fun. Like to just go through it and like you have like a thing in your head. Like I kind of want it to look this certain way, like as we were shooting, and then having it come together like in a video. It's like, oh, this is so cool.
We went through so many ideas of how to get the pictures into the video because at first it was we said this last week. We're gonna borrow a friend's analog pocket,
but you need a special dock.
Turns out it wasn't as easy as we thought, and then it was like, okay, well I have a Game Boy printer. And we were getting all sorts of weird errors with that.
Yeah, I brought it here so we can troubleshoot it together.
Yeah, so you just ended up filming. I mean, fortunately, you got some nice, it looks great.
I had to film it in the weirdest place. I had to do it at a certain hour of the day in direct sunlight.
The glare is an issue.
I was in like the corner of my room, like one of the rooms in my house, just like crouched in the corner. My body was blocking the glare, and I had to hold my camera a very specific way to get those shots. But I looked crazy, but I did it. So it was a feat. But yes, that's definitely on the list of like top 3 coolest things that we've done. Yeah.
And then
so this week,
the first episode of Kitten Krysta 60, Super Kitten Krysta 64.
Get it right.
I almost messed it up.
Branding.
We're doing a fun thing. So Super Smash Brothers always has the home run contest.
Yep.
We are combining the Super Smash Brothers home run contest with a real life home run contest. So we're gonna do it a couple times in the game. Add up those scores. Then we're gonna go outside, and you've got this little like kids like wiffle ball tee.
Wiffle bat tee.
So we're gonna hit some balls.
Yep.
Add up. Do some like crazy math equation. So it's equivalent.
Scaling.
Do times like 10,000 or something.
Exactly, to get the right scale.
And then we're gonna add it all up and see who the true home run king is.
Yeah.
The dingers.
And we have dingers.
Dingers.
We have the running Kitten Krysta challenge tally.
Oh right. Now what you said it's tied up?
We are tied up right now.
Oh boy.
So this is a big challenge. This is a money challenge, you see, because it will determine who pulls ahead.
If I lose, we'll have to do more challenges so I can come back. No, but the loser, we really argued over what happens to the loser.
I really wanted to beat you with a bat.
You just wanted to hit me with a bat.
You didn't want me to.
I don't want to hit you with a bat. I don't know why you're so cross at me that you want to hit me.
You know what the loser... So we decided the loser would just get pelted with balls, with baseballs.
You would try to hit the ball at the loser. I don't think you can hit me with that, so I'm not worried if I lose.
I was thinking we can do like a William Tell kind of thing, where you put the baseball on your head and you become
Absolutely
the
not. No, put it in your mouth. Yeah, just like a pig with an apple in its mouth.
Put like a golf peg and put the
Absolutely not.
baseball right there in the face.
Oh my gosh.
And then you lay down and then you can put the tee.
No.
Okay.
Why do you want to hurt me?
You said you weren't going to lose. So why are you worried?
I won't worry. No.
Why are you worried?
No.
You just don't want to. You don't want to hit me with a bat.
You a big baseball fan? You like baseball?
No.
Well,
I like going to baseball games for like the vibes.
Baseball is pretty boring.
I've never played baseball though. You have played baseball as a kid.
So I was extremely into baseball growing up.
Playing or watching?
Both. Everything. Collecting baseball cards.
Well, I'm going to lose, guys.
The whole deal.
Oh, no.
Now, and then we're from San Francisco. My favorite player, Barry Bonds.
Oh, I
love Barry Bonds. Now, Barry Bonds, I'm going to do a quick rant on...
Barry Bonds.
30-second rant on Barry Bonds. People hate Barry Bonds. They say he's a jerk. He's the home run king. Now, people say he did steroids. Yeah. Guess what?
Proved?
Whether he did or didn't, I'm on the side. I don't think he did.
Okay.
If he did, he was doing nothing different than all the other players were doing at that was the steroid era.
So
he was just doing what every other player was doing.
Okay.
Big deal. If he didn't do the steroids, he'd still be the greatest hitter ever. I don't care.
I love Barry Bonds. My very first baseball game was when Barry Bonds hit his 300th home run.
His dinger?
His dinger.
Wow.
And I got a pin that says
That's great.
Barry Bonds 300.
Hit it right into the bay.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. It goes right into the bay. If you
can
you can be there in a kayak and get nailed with a baseball.
Perfect.
Anyways.
All right. Well, now we're finally starting the show. We're 20 minutes in.
20 minutes. If you're still here, thank you. We definitely will tell you the story.
That's why there's a timestamp. If you're fed up with this, you just hit the button and move on.
I know. You don't need to listen to us ramble.
I got 30 more minutes on Barry Bonds.
That was not my choice, guys.
People wanted to measure his head because they were thinking, his head's growing from the
roids?
From the cream and the clear. That's what they called it. He's on these. Don't get me started. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Barry Bonds is an angel.
Okay, I did bring my Giants baseball cap for the video.
I have a Nintendo Minute hat
for my Bay Area pride.
Great.
There you go. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Story time. The magical weekend. I don't know, in New York City with Mr. Yuji Horii.
Right.
Launching Dragon Quest IX, probably the best Dragon Quest game. My favorite Dragon Quest game, I think.
Some people might disagree, but
I'm just saying
like
personally. This is my favorite Dragon Quest game.
Now, I think we need to set the stage. Why we were even doing this at all.
Okay, set the stage.
So, Nintendo published Dragon Quest IX, and previously it was Square Enix.
Right.
And I don't know why that was. There must have been some backroom handshake dealings.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dragon Quest VIII was on PS2, so I think that coming to a Nintendo system was a big
deal.
Or returning to a Nintendo platform.
Right.
Being on the DS was unexpected.
Right.
But it was like, Dragon Quest, they just pick the biggest platform and they go with that.
Right.
So, that was a big deal. It was multiplayer. First kind of Dragon Quest game to have multiplayer was a big deal. Basically, all this meant was like people were stressed out over this launch.
Exactly.
Kind of in a way I had never
experienced.
Really experienced. And obviously, this was a high stress job in the first place, but people were really like, oh my gosh.
There was a lot of things leading up to it that caused them to just really put a lot of stake into this launch, which caused everyone to legit panic.
This was kind of the peak of the Nintendo hubris where it was like, we can make anything a hit. It doesn't matter what it is.
True.
We know the audience. We know how to take any game on these platforms, and we'll just make it a hit for you.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's what was offered up to Square Enix. Hey, Square Enix, we got this for you.
Yeah, here's a silver platter of whatever, all these promises.
How many units you want sold? 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, whatever.
No problem. I do remember the forecast for that game being ridiculous. And we were like, Dragon Quest is kind of a niche franchise. Are we sure?
But the stuff they were telling us was crazy. It was like, okay, we're really going to reach out to teenage girls.
Yeah, because it's cute.
You can customize, you can put on all sorts of cute and cool outfits.
Yeah, there was a lot of some kitschy nonsense.
And I wasn't buying it, I gotta say.
It was they'll love, let's really focus on these certain characters.
Yeah.
Because they're really cute and it's like a Kirby, but like a slime. We're
right.
What?
And it was I remember they also were previously it was like, all right, we want everybody to make an effort to play these games, but it was like, no, you must play this game. They like chained a DS to my desk, and it was like, you play this game.
They were like, how many hours have you logged?
Right. They were being really, and that's when you learn. It's like, okay, this is a typical Dragon Quest game. There's a very slow hour-and-a-half ramp-up that I don't know if a teenage girl who doesn't play video games is going to
want to do this
before you can do anything.
Yeah, and it was like a typical, JRPG where it was like a lot of tutorial and like just a lot of a lot of setup.
And eventually, I mean, it's an incredible game. Like I don't disagree with you that it's probably my favorite Dragon Quest. But as far as like breaking the mold of who it's for,
I don't know. Yeah, not gonna happen.
And they were
the multiplayer though. I thought that if you could just get there, then it would be a little bit more like you could entice people that maybe don't play RPGs as much. Because that multiplayer mode we played that for so long. Right. Remember? We were like months after we were all still playing the multiplayer mode.
So it was like top priority, this game. And it was like, we had to, everything got approved differently. The whole workflow for everything was, there were like random shadowy people in Japan who were approving what we were doing. It's like, oh boy.
And everything took longer even though we had to do more.
This seems a little scary. I don't know where this is headed.
I know. Where's this going?
Yeah. So exactly. And remember, we had that crazy Seth Green commercial.
That's right.
It's like we need a big celebrity.
We need a celebrity.
And again, every teenage girl is crazy for Seth Green.
Seth Green, that sleepover.
Seth Green poster on your wall.
You just imagine.
You say goodnight to it.
You and your 6 friends in your sleepover watching Seth Green, then playing some Dragon Quest 9. And then you braid each other's hair like that. That's what I was doing.
So basically, this is all to say, it was like, whatever you want to propose, like think as big as you can.
Right.
To make it happen. So for us, it was like, wow, it could be really cool if we could get this, Yuji Horii character to come over to the US and do some cool stuff. Because we were hit and miss with getting Nintendo developers.
Yeah, even at that time, it was pretty tough to request like a developer. I think as we moved into like sort of the Wii U era, it got a little bit easier because we got like desperate,
Yeah.
But in the hubris times, it was very like, no, you're not getting access to these people.
Busy.
They're busy.
Right,
they're making games. Like, go away.
Yeah. So we threw that in there on a whim. It was like, well, might as well try.
Yeah.
And very quickly it was like, oh, he's coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you in New York.
Yeah.
And we had built all these, like, all right, we'll do a launch event there.
A really cool launch event.
He'll do appearances. We'll do it. Yeah, it was going to be at the Nintendo store.
Mm-hmm. We're going to do a big, like, Rockefeller Plaza.
Right. Outside, all sorts of cool, visuals. And then we were going to do this crazy press tour with him.
Right.
Be a great time. So I was like, okay, well, that's neat. Happened to be kind of right smack in the middle of E3 though.
That almost killed us.
So
we like literally almost died from that because we were so busy from E3.
So it was like, okay, we know that we're going to have to do all of this, but we need to just put that to the side and do E3 for the next month.
Right.
And so it was like, come back from E3 completely exhausted. It's like, oh,
the next week.
He's coming in like 3 weeks, and we had not done really anything because we were so busy on E3.
Right. So we had to basically like flip a switch and just be like in crazy launch event planning mode, which again, launch events were such a weird thing for us because it's like, why is the communications team doing launch events?
Yeah, it was before our events team really got involved.
So we were doing everything. Like we were doing everything from like the permitting.
I do remember at the time, head of Nintendo New York got very cross with me several times.
That event, she almost punched you in the face.
Like, why is this happening so late?
Yeah, I mean, we were so late.
It's like, yes, it was. It's like, I'm sorry, but we have to do this.
Like, we don't have any other option, you know? So, yeah, we were basically like, just like rushing to get everything done. And the event was supposed to be like very visually impactful. Yeah. We had these like insane inflatables, remember?
A giant inflatable slime.
We had multiple inflatable slimes. Right. We had a king slime, which was like, it was like huge. And then we had like, of course, like the normal slime. And then we also had like, we wanted to do these like branded ice cream trucks because it was like the height of like hot New York summer. Hot. Right. I remember these ice cream trucks were like a nightmare because we had to get all the, not only the permitting in the plaza, but the food permitting. Who knew food permitting was so hard?
You were in charge of that.
Oh my God, I did not know. How did this become my job? Why am I on the phone with like the FDA?
Mr. Softy. It was a Mr. It was a branded Mr. Softy truck.
Oh my God,
in New York.
It was so.
I mean, it's good ice cream.
It was so amazing.
It's good ice cream.
But we had like the whole truck was wrapped in Dragon Quest IX, and they made a special like slime ice cream that was blue
colored,
and we were all eating ice cream, and all of our mouths and tongues were like bright blue. It was awesome. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a feat. I can't even believe that.
But the schedule was so crazy. It was like, okay, with those slimes, it was like, well, it needs to really be reviewed. But it's not going to be there until like the day before. So Mr. Horii can approve it in person. Site. It's like, well, that's mildly stressful.
And this was the first time you and I met Mr. Horii.
Yes, we didn't know him at all.
Then we had like several things with him after this, and we were like very familiar.
Right.
So this was like sort of like you're meeting this like creator.
Right.
It's for the very first time.
Is this guy going to be cool? Is he going to be mean? Is he going to be like
what is his
a diva?
expectations?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So we were like very nervous.
So. Yeah, just stressed out on multiple. And we're in New York, and it's like, all right, he's flying in.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for this thing. Let's just hope this goes well.
Yeah.
So I go out to JFK to pick him up.
Yeah, we always go pick up the developers from the airport. So we take a car.
It's a nice personal touch.
Yeah, we always like go greet them. Usually we bring them like a gift or like whatever. Like it's very high touch.
Right. And typically, sometimes those flights, obviously coming from Japan to New York is really a long haul.
A long way.
And it's like, sometimes, some people can sleep, some people can't. So, we would have been talking to them in advance. It was like, we're going to leave that afternoon open.
So you can rest.
Just so you can rest if you're tired. And,
exactly.
and we'll see you, we'll get you set up at your hotel. And we'll see you the next day, and we'll get going.
Exactly.
And we were like going back, and so I was like, all right, so we're going to take you to your hotel, and you're going to have the day to rest. And they're like, we're not tired. We want to see New York. Take us to the Statue of Liberty. Oh man.
That was a good like indication of like his personality though.
So it was him and a few of his, business associates. There was the guy.
There was like he kind of rolled deep.
He had the business lead for the Dragon Quest series, who we saw again multiple times later. We became very friendly with.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So he had a couple of helpers with him, and we had a translator with us.
Yeah.
From the Treehouse, who was great.
Yeah, we always have like somebody.
Akiko was the translator. She was incredible.
Oh my goodness.
On that trip. But it was like, okay, well now I need to whip up this trip to the Statue of Liberty, which I hadn't planned on. I was like, do I need to buy tickets for this? How do I do this in advance? Like, I'm just like on my phone, like in the back of this car. I'm like, oh my gosh, Mr. Horii wants to go to the Statue of Liberty. I'm not ready. But we were kind of like chatting them up. We got the feel that they're very easygoing.
Yeah, he is maybe the most easygoing developer
of somebody of that caliber who doesn't need to be easygoing.
Yeah, but he's just like he was in such good spirits. He was so excited to see New York, and he just wanted to see all the cool landmarks.
He is very much in the Mr. Miyamoto mold, where he just has like a childlike view of the world and whimsy about everything.
Totally.
That is very
just like
special.
This like natural curiosity about the world around him.
Always smiling, always in a good mood.
The sweetest man.
So it was a bit of a whirlwind to get out to the Statue of Liberty, but we did, and everybody had a great time, and they were feeling great. Like,
I think that was like a good
so
start.
Glad we came. Yeah, because it's like we could really, start off on the wrong foot if it's like,
it's kind of grumpy or something.
We couldn't make it, or we couldn't do it, or we're on a bad part. The tour was bad, or something.
Yeah, but it ended up being great. Yeah,
it was good. And then we did kind of all of our prep, and we did the press tour. I remember we had a very unusual stop, which was Fox News.
That's right. Why did we go to Fox News?
And this was
there's a lot of like broadcast media in New York.
Right. I mean, we had a great. It was a good draw of like, hey, this guy's made this huge series in Japan that's about to come out in the U.S. again. It's going to be a big hit. So there was a lot of interest.
Yeah.
And talking to him, I can't remember the last time he had come to the U.S., but
Yeah, I don't think he's been to New York since that trip.
Yeah, there was a lot of mainstream interest, and one of the ones that was booked was Fox News, and this was 12 years ago, so it was kind of a different time. But even then, it was like Fox News.
Like, Mr. Horii, are you a Republican or Democrat?
They want to talk to him, but we went, and it was fine, and it was a very straightforward game interview. That they have
like a entertainment like beat or whatever it is, but it was like strange, but it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
So we go on the Whirlwind press tour in New York.
Yeah.
And then we have he does like an appearance at the launch event where he's like, I mean, these fans are just like falling over themselves, obviously. And I feel like every time a developer comes to the US for one of these events, they're like weirdly shocked by the amount of fans.
I know.
They're like, oh, you know who I am? It's like
you at a
do you know who
it's like you at a PAX panel.
I'm not Yuji Horii.
Now you're Krysta Yang.
Night and day.
Just bring the slime with you.
I will bring. No, I actually won't. This is precious cargo. We can't just be toting it around Seattle. But the great part is that they're always so pleasantly surprised, and then you just see the joy on their face when they're interacting with all the fans. And he's so gracious too. He was like, of course, like signing autographs and taking photos. And
most importantly, though, he approved the slime.
He did approve the slime.
As I was sweating bullets as the thing was getting inflated.
Please.
He was like, "Oh, it looks great. Approved."
What if he was like not approved, like deflating it?
He like shanked it with a knife or something.
It's like
yeah. I don't know. It could have happened. I mean,
you never know.
I mean, again, we've seen like the Nintendo view of these things, the Pokemon view of these things is extremely insane.
We did have a very opposite experience with the Pokemon inflatables that we can tell in another story.
Or where they basically took a blowtorch to some ice sculptures too.
Yeah, those inflatables almost flew away.
I will say, those inflatables were great. We have a great picture of him in front of the inflatable.
It is seriously like the most amazing. We were like, can we bring this home and put it in our front yard or something?
You did have a nice in your office some very large custom slime plushies.
I did. I gave one to the biggest Dragon Quest fan that I know that used to work with us. It was my gift to him when I left Nintendo, and he was so happy. And he didn't drive that day, so he just took an Uber home with this giant slime, which is really funny. Yeah. But yeah, we have some really cool little tchotchkes from that.
So that we got all of the business side of the trip done. We did our press meetings, we did the event. This was kind of pre-social media, so we didn't really do anything. That's too bad.
He did all the appearances.
We could have done all that, but then we just had a great time hanging out with him.
Yeah, we just ate. Yeah, food all the day long.
Saw the sights, went to these great restaurants, and just we really formed a great relationship with him.
Yeah, it was awesome.
He came many times later for other games too, and I like to think we had that good relationship, and we would just sort of pick up where we left off when he came to visit. Yeah.
Exactly, it was so wonderful, and it's. You never know. Again, first time meeting somebody, there's this language barrier. Yeah. You are there for business, but you also are there. These are actual humans. You want to form a relationship with them, and we were both huge fans too of Mr. Horii, and so we definitely wanted to make sure that he felt like this was a worthwhile trip for him and all that stuff. We were very this invested in it. So yeah, it was just so nice, and I always love it when. A trip, that has this business thing that you get done ends up being something really just fun and memorable for other reasons too. Right. So, yes, I miss him. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, and hopefully we can see him again
maybe soon. Announce that new Dragon Quest game.
They keep saying there's some news during the summertime, or I don't know.
Summer's not over yet. We still have time. We're waiting.
Right.
Yeah, but we'd love to. We would love to see what's up with that, and also to see him. See
him.
Yeah. All right. That's the story time.
It sure is.
Yeah, you can have the story time with the backing of piano music.
You should explain what's happening with there was people asking about the piano music.
It is the summertime, so my mom, who is a piano teacher, has some of her students during the daytime. So
there you
might be hearing. There you go. You might be hearing some
to the podcast,
wonderful music, live accompaniment.
Yes,
it's like the a
David Letterman has the whatever band. We have this.
We have this. We have a child playing the scales on the piano. All right.
Okay.
Moving on to our Never a Minute segment. This is you have this titled Thanos Snap 3 Pokemon.
Well, there was an article on Kotaku that was like,
I love this.
Like, we need to kill these these Pokemon. And
I got a lot more than 3.
And I was like, well, that's extreme, but there are a lot of Pokemon. You could argue there's too many Pokemon, and some that maybe we could just, yeet into the sun.
We could yeet some, for sure. Like, some of them are just taking a valuable space.
Right.
And some of them are just extremely creepy.
So we said we're going to come up with 3 each. You have more than 3, it sounds like?
I think I have more than 3,
Wow.
but we might have some doubles.
Okay. I have only 3 this time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you go first? And explain why you would want to Thanos.
I think,
snap, obviously.
I think one of these is going to be unpopular, but too bad.
Okay.
We won't start with that one.
Okay.
The first one is Greedent, which is that squirrel Pokemon from Sword and Shield. Now, it's a very basic Pokemon. It just looks like a big squirrel with a big fluffy tail.
Type?
There's something wrong with the face, though. It doesn't look like a proper Pokemon face. Like, the style of the art looks way off to me.
Really? I don't even know I can't picture it.
There's so many different Pokemon. They all have, a different attributes or whatever, but they all look kind of like they're from the same, artist or art style.
Yeah.
This one looks like some old-timey Disney, or it's got those big googly
like anime eyes?
It looks more like Western to me, almost. I don't know. I just don't like it.
I was like, we'll put if you're watching the podcast, we'll put
I'm like, this is not a Pokemon. This is like out of Snow White or something. Get out.
Oh.
Into the sun you go.
Okay, see ya.
Yeah.
Okay. So just not because of you don't like
it looks out of place.
You just don't like the art style.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I hate it.
You hate it.
Yeah. Thanks, I hate it.
Well, my first one is probably someone it's probably on a lot of people's lists. Rattata?
Oh.
Get rid of it.
Now, are you yeeting the whole Rattata family?
Oh yeah.
Raticate.
Yeah,
all right. Alolan Rattata?
Yes. Gross. It's just a rat. It's really ugly. They're everywhere. It's like infesting the Pokemon universe. Like it's infesting my beautiful city of San Francisco.
My sister had a pet rat growing up. I can't be on board with
But it's also kind of useless, too.
Well, there's a lot of useless Pokemon.
So this one is the most
There's more than 3 useless Pokemon.
So useless.
I would love it if there would be a way to make some of those more, early on Pokemon be viable and valuable later in the game.
It's not.
I would love that.
And there's just too many of them. It's
a lot of times
everywhere.
I'm sad to move on from my Pidgey.
From the Rattata?
Pidgeot. With its
Pidgeotto?
Magnificent mane.
It kind of has hair like yours.
Don't say that.
It does.
I don't look like a pigeon.
You kind of look like a pigeon.
That's mean. All right.
That's my first one.
All right.
Okay.
My next is kind of representative of a whole category of Pokemon that I don't like.
Okay.
So it's Lampent and Chandelure.
Oh, you don't like Pokemon that look like objects?
I don't like the Pokemon that are based on things in real life. I think it's a little lazy.
What about the one that looks like a vanilla ice cream?
Well, I was going to say, I will give the food ones a pass.
Because I like those.
I think that's a little more unique, a little more interesting.
Yeah.
There's a bit more opportunity. I think I can understand why there's something alive that looks like a cupcake.
Yeah.
Alcremie.
Alcremie, yeah. Alcremie is cute.
Than something that looks like a chandelier or a sword or a whatever. I just don't like that. So this is emblematic of that whole category. Which,
just yeet that.
Goodbye. Thanos snapped.
Okay, no more chandelier.
No, I just don't
Pokemon.
like it. Yeah.
I guess this next category also is a representative of a category of Pokemon that I highly dislike, which is Pokemon that almost look like weird humans.
Yes.
So Mr. Mime and Jinx.
Jinx, yeah. Any others?
Those are the two that really come to mind.
Yeah, that category I also
really dislike.
Strongly dislike. I couldn't find more examples than those though. So it's like there's and those are a little obvious. I know a lot of people hate those, so
I just don't like it.
I actually don't hate Mr. Mime these days.
Ugh.
I'm kind of back on with Mr. Mime.
Ugh. He's actually kind of powerful, I'll give you that, but just the look of it, it's like it kind of breaks that the barrier between Pokemon and your main character. Like it feels like it's too close. Like why would I have tiny opera singer.
Right.
That's like fighting for me. Like it's so weird, you know. It's like
that I'm keeping in a ball.
That I'm keeping in a ball, and
right.
I'm like, it's like almost like a pet, you know.
Yeah.
Like it just or
like a rabbit that you married
in a cage.
You keep in a cage. What's the difference?
Ew.
What if rabbits became Pokemon?
Oh.
That could be a fun crossover.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't give them any ideas. This is what they're gonna announce on Thursday.
Minions?
Minions.
And we're excited to announce a new crossover with our partners at Universal Studios. And then they play the clip. It's like,
it's like yellow. It's like getting electrocuted
it's
or something.
yellow.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I agree. If you're making more Pokemon in the future, don't go down this path.
Don't go down the path of making it look like humans.
Right.
It's like humanoid.
No, it makes you think too deeply about this in ways that you don't want to.
Exactly. It breaks that sort of barrier that you have. Yeah. Okay.
All right. My last one. This is one that I think is maybe just specific to me. Heatmore, which is a fire type anteater looking thing. Mm-hmm. I just think it looks gross.
Oh, okay.
There's like all these like tubes coming out of it and into it. And it's like got this like twisted, gnarled look. And I also don't understand why an anteater is a fire type.
Like why does it not a ground type?
It's like, why was this what you decided on? Why did you think this was a good idea? Like this feels like a very low level reject concept for a Pokemon. I really don't like this one. The tubes really like gross me out.
The tubes,
too. Why are there tubes?
What about Tangela? That has
That's fine.
Tangela, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
that has sort of like a tubular.
Oh, you get tangled in the little whatevers.
The vines.
Yeah,
it's like grass type.
That's fine. But this is a anteater with tubes that shoots fire. It's gross.
You don't like it.
It just grosses me out.
Okay, my last one.
Gone.
Okay, all right.
Next.
My last one is Zubat. And the entire Zubat family.
Creeped out by that too?
I'm creeped out by that too. And also just the idea of a bat like flapping into you in a cave.
It's got big teeth.
Yeah, and those wings look all leathery. Yeah. You know, those little feet are all like claw-like. It's just like,
yeah.
I'm not loving that.
So you don't like bats in real life?
Well, bats are just like flying rats.
I was just going to say,
so,
there's a similarity here.
I really dislike.
Now,
yes.
We talked recently about your fear of snakes.
Yeah.
No snake Pokemon were listed here.
Yeah, I think it was kind of obvious for me to list it. Abra? No, not Abra.
No.
What is it called?
Arbok?
Arbok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ekans? When did you realize that was just snake backwards?
Like, kind of recently.
Kind of, me too, actually. It's a little embarrassing.
It was like I was in like Sword and Shield Gen. I was like, oh.
It's like, oh, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't be so obvious as to just do that. Like, oh wait, no, they totally did.
It is.
And then Arbok too. It's Cobra, but with a K.
With a K. Krysta with a K.
What's Krysta backwards? You don't know, do you?
Arisic.
Arisic? Okay.
You're Tick.
Oh, that's easy.
Tick and Arisic. Welcome. No, we're not doing this.
What if that was the new name of the Kit and Krysta show? We just went it backwards. Genius, a work of genius, creative genius. Thank you. Keeping it simple didn't work, so this is what you get, you jerks. You confused now?
And then we have that clawed upside down image with a logo. Oh my god. Okay, we need to move on.
Our new strategy is to troll the audience.
Don't do that.
As hard as possible.
We need them to help us. We need you to help us. Can't troll you. All right, we need to talk about what we're playing because it's a lot.
This is mostly all you.
I know. What have you been
happened?
doing?
I'm still playing Live Alive.
Oh my god, you're still playing Live Alive.
Well, you were on these leads. So let's start with Deltarune. Did you finish Deltarune?
I did.
Okay.
Deltarune was awesome.
Yes.
I was really pleasantly I don't know why I was pleasantly surprised because I should have known that it was going to be great. But yeah, I didn't know where it would go after chapter 1.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I don't want to spoil it, but so it was kind of like there was such a definitive end at the end of chapter 1 where it's like, what can you do now?
I see.
You know, so I wasn't expecting chapter 2 to take place in that environment and to start that way and to add some of these new characters.
Yeah.
Love that. I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. And yes, that Nintendo game.
Yes. Don't spoil it.
I won't, but it was...
That's good.
It was magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know when chapter 3 is coming, but now I'm all caught up.
We actually
so
heard we have a Patreon subscriber who helped.
That's right.
Work on Deltarune.
Yes. They said they were working on it.
Give you the inside info, right?
I know. Tell me. Just tell me privately in our Discord. You don't need to tell everybody. It's okay. Keep your secret. Don't worry.
So you finished that.
I did.
You finished Stray.
I did finish Stray.
You did, right?
Oh my God, Stray. Why are you thinking like
I'm
that?
waiting to hear that. I don't know. I haven't played this game. Tell me what you need to tell me.
It was so good.
Okay.
I really liked it. Like, I really, again, kind of didn't know what to expect. And I was interested when I saw the game. And then as I was playing through the first, like, couple hours of it, it was, like, starting to sort of, like, unfold as to what kind of game this was. Because it's kind of hard to tell. You're like a cat walking around. Like, what are you doing? Like, I talked about it a little bit on the last show. It's like, it does a really good job of making the cat very necessary to the story because of the cat's cat abilities of, like, jumping around and being fast and whatever. Yeah. So you feel like, oh, like, I'm really needed, you know, to help these characters in the story, like, move forward or whatever. And like, as you get, you know, sort of deeper into the game, you, like, build more and more relationships with the robots that you're interacting with in this world, and you, like, really come to understand, like, what happens. And it does this thing where, like, as you're going through it unlocks memories. And so, like, your little robot companion unlocks, like, all of these, it's like core memory unlocked, like, about, like, what happened in its past. And then the end, the game is not very long. It's like you can get through it in, like, you know, a couple days. The ending, like, I actually shed a tear. I'm not sure if other people agree, but I was so focused on the cat being okay that I didn't expect this other thing to happen. And, like, it melted my cold black heart. It really did. I was like, oh. But the ending was great. The ending was really good. It was
as your real life cat was just mewling outside,
yowling for food
to be fed for once.
She was looking. She was watching.
Like, quiet! I'm playing the cat game.
What do you mean? I love my cat.
Sometimes it's unclear.
She's very demanding.
Oh boy.
So, anyways, but the ending was very hopeful and, like, very just. It was perfect. The ending was really perfect, and I didn't expect such a just a sweet, touching, like, I don't know, like, this game was very unexpected in that way, and I really enjoyed it.
Now, I've seen some people suggesting that this could be like a like dark horse game of the year contender. Would you say that? Would you go that far?
I think the experience is a little bit short. Yeah. For a game of the year contender. Right. But I think it's extremely unique. Like, it's like you never would expect a game like that seems like it's a walking cat game to be so full of just really great storytelling and, like, amazing. Yeah, like, the game played really well. There was such great, like, scary, tense moments coupled with, like, really touching moments. So, like, they did pack it all into, like, a small package. But maybe it, like, would not be game of the year just because it's just a little bit shorter and a little bit. I see. Like, so
Call of Duty it is for you. That's more up your alley.
Back to the docks I go. But I can see it. I mean, it's certainly unique and unexpected. So. Okay. I loved it. Everyone go play it.
Great.
You're not going to play it, are you?
If it comes out on, like, Game Pass or something where it's, like, easy for me to get, then I would play it. But I'm not going to, like, drop everything and play it.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Well, why don't you just keep going here? So you went from those two into Xenoblade, which is the big new release.
Yeah. So I have been playing Xenoblade all weekend long. Yeah. And I think we talked about this before. We both played Xenoblade. Which one? Xenoblade on Wii U.
X. And the original Xenoblade Chronicles.
And the original Xenoblade Chronicles.
Kind of missed Xenoblade Chronicles 2, though.
I missed Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well. And I think, we were talking about how, like, for some reason, the first, couple hours of Xenoblade, the first, 8 to 10 hours is really great, and then we sort of fall off. And And also, I think sometimes the story and the battle systems are a little complex for me in Xenoblade games. I do love a good narrative, but it's like a little like, who are you again? Like, it's a little convoluted sometimes. So I was kind of going into this a little cautious. I definitely wanted to play it, so, you know, I wanted to jump into it. But I was worried that it was going to, like, drop me into this world that I had no idea what was going on, because I didn't play Xenoblade 2, and it's been a while for me to be in this universe. But I'm surprised. The story is actually, like, very, like, intriguing. And already very easy to follow. And it feels a little bit different than other Xenoblade games to me. First of all, it feels like super adult. I had to keep looking. I'm like, this game is rated T? How?
Explain.
They swear a lot in this game.
Like you.
I'm definitely rated M, so it's, I was shocked. I was hearing, like, lots of different kinds of swear words. I was like, oh, okay. Like, even this, just overall, the narrative setup is, like, it's kind of dark, honestly, and a little bit, like, it's like, oh, this is some real stuff. Like, this is, you know, it's not like some, like, chintzy little, like, I live on a robot and I'm gonna fight this battle, like, whatever. Like, there's some deep
more than
issues.
getting the 6 crystals.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like sad a little bit.
That could be hours 70 to 90 of the story. You just don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, but the setup of the story is, like, super dark. It's like, oh, geez, that's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's really sad. Characters are, like, the dialogue seems really mature. There's some steamy scenes.
Oh.
There was a very steamy bath scene where everyone was basically topless.
Whoa!
I mean, the women you can only see, but the men.
Just out there.
All of those husbandos to choose from. Oh girl. Get me the smelling salts again. They're pretty hot, so not gonna complain about that.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I'm happy for me too. So I'm in. I'm in the story's great. Yeah. Like, it really, like, just action packed right in the beginning. So I'm like, okay, what's happening? Like, what's going on? So that part I really like. And then the battle systems, there's definitely a lot of tutorial. Like, I think I'm still in a tutorial, honestly. Like, it's been, like, many hours. I'm, like, chapter, like, 3 or something. I still get, like, little tutorial prompts. But they give you, like, all of these, like, you can do this, you can do that, you can do these arts, you can do these fusion arts, you can do these chain attacks, you can do whatever. I mean, you don't have to do all of that stuff.
Right. You're playing on easy, you said, too.
I'm absolutely playing on easy.
I'm very glad to hear that there's an easy mode.
Yeah, the easy mode is very stress-free.
Is there very easy?
No.
Oh.
Very easy, just, like, walk through the game.
They have, like, for people who just want to experience the story.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much easy mode.
Have you had any trouble with the battles on easy? No.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Even with the boss battles, I've been okay. Yeah, I mean, I need to do stuff, but you don't feel like you're like, oh my gosh, I'm grinding.
Stressed out over it.
Sometimes, like, also those battles are long.
Yes.
And then you, like, die and you need to start over, and it's like, really annoying. There are a lot of characters too, so you can, like, freely, obviously, switch between all the different characters. You can, like, change their classes. So it's deep. Like, you can do a lot, but again, you don't really have to.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. Like, I've been having fun, like, changing up the characters I play. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to just do, like, healing this battle, or, like, I want to do like the sword fight part of it. You still have to do that thing where you, like, get to different, like, if you want to do, like, a side slash, you get to walk to the side of the enemy. Right. So that part is, like, maybe a little bit more active than these kinds of games with how you battle. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far. And our good friend Roger
he came through.
He came through like a goat, because he texted me over the weekend. He was like, here are 3 sentences to get you up. Because I was like, I cannot place this in, like, where I am in the Xenoblade, you know, in the timeline or whatever. And he helped me place myself.
I said you should just watch a video, but you couldn't be bothered. You need poor Roger just type out this long message to you.
He was so kind. Thank you, Roger. I knew you would do it. You're the best. And, like, seriously, his text, it was like 3 sentences, and that's exactly what I needed. Explain to me what I needed to know, and I'm all good now.
Great.
So if you want me to copy and paste Roger's text for you.
God forbid Roger included a fourth sentence or just be delete contact. I asked for 3.
Oh my gosh. He was like, here are your 3 sentences. He followed the directions so well.
He's probably frightened.
No, he's not. Come on, give me a break. I'm going to keep going. I really like it so far. The story is very interesting. Hopefully there's more steamy shower scenes. I like the adult quality of this game, guys.
Right.
Don't know how it's rated T, though. If you have a child, don't let them play this game.
I was very certain I was playing this game next. I'm not completely certain now. I don't know.
You really waffled on that.
I don't know. Like, hearing some people talking about this game over the weekend, I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
What's the deal?
Well, this whole thing of like, oh, well, it's definitely 150 hours to beat the game. It's like, that
can't be right.
That seems ridiculous.
I don't think it is.
And it's hard to tell.
Maybe completionist.
I don't know. I mean, the game just came out, so it's really hard to tell.
There's a lot of side quests.
Whether people are dabbling in side stuff, doing all the side stuff, because like I will not be doing any side stuff in this game.
I'm just following the main quest.
Critical pathing this game, as they say.
Exactly.
That's what I would be doing.
It's so easy to focus on the main quest because they literally give you like a dotted line to go from one place to the next.
Right.
So
Because let me tell you, come September 9th when Splatoon 3 comes out, I'm stopping whatever else I'm doing to play that. So
everyone is.
So if I not at 150 hours, which I probably won't be.
You won't be.
By September 9th, this game is getting put down. So it's like, maybe I shouldn't bother.
No, I think you should. At least for a little while.
And then there's a sweet spot of like how many systems I like in a game. It's quite a lot. I like a lot of systems, but again, hearing like, oh, well, it's 25 hours of tutorials of layering on these systems.
A lot of systems.
It's like, do we need this many systems?
You can just ignore them.
Are some of these, again, if you're playing on easy, you might be able to ignore it.
You can ignore it.
And I did see some people say there's some like auto stuff where it'll like auto fill out, stuff that you need to assign for your characters. That sounds good.
Exactly.
So maybe that's the solution: is play on easy and kind of automate some of that really and like, fringe stuff.
You don't have to the classes, the items. Like you can just set it and forget it. Like you don't need to mess with it. I mean, you can if you wanted to. Yeah. But it's absolutely not required.
Yeah. So I probably will. But you never know. I want to say one more thing about Xenoblade, which is I want to give a special salute to the brave souls who reviewed this game. Again, we were involved with many game reviews on our side. We never had to do them.
Yeah.
And
How many hours did they get to review this game?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, so, we would always know, like, oh, this is a big RPG or this is a big game. We need to get ahead of this. But there's just a limit to how early you can get somebody a game because we want to give them a final version. We don't want to give them something that's still work in progress with bugs. Yeah. So there's a certain...
Oh, man. That must have been so hard.
Yeah, I have no doubt that the team gave, those media as much time as they could. I'm sure it was a number of weeks. But even then, like, if you do the math of, like, how many hours a day you have to play, and then you have to actually dedicate time to writing the review or doing a video review or something, that is a tall order.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where it's like, wow, the whole game review system is just completely broken.
It is. Like, it's so unfair.
And you have to make the embargo. You have to, or it doesn't matter.
Right.
If you don't make the embargo, you basically shouldn't.
You lose out on the coverage altogether.
Right. Somebody else is going to, steal the thunder. There's so much competition for that.
Yeah.
And to be like Metacritic's like posting like, hey, the embargo lifts on blah, blah, blah. I don't think they should do that, by the way.
I know.
Just because Metacritic's connected to GameSpot, or they weren't, are they still? I don't know. I always thought that was shady.
That was a little shady, yeah.
That's for the people reviewing to know.
Yeah, let them do it and let them put out the scores. You can still aggregate them as you do. Right. But like you don't need to be...
Go away, Metacritic.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. So that's my salute to these people.
Yeah, well done. I mean, I'm sure you've not slept in weeks. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So Live Alive. I'm getting close. I think I have 2 more out of 7 stories to go. One of which I've already did some amount of in the demo. And then I understand there's one more story after those, which kind of brings it all together. So I think this week I'll definitely be done with it.
Okay.
I'm still really enjoying this game. This is like the complete opposite of Xenoblade, which is like a super focused, not a lot of freedom to go outside of the box that they have made for you.
Right.
But everyone feels really different. And the one I really loved was I think it was the modern day scenario, which is set up like a fighting game.
Oh, that's right, the fighting game.
I mentioned last week I was really excited to do this one, and I did it, and it was great. Where it didn't feel, the battles were RPG battles, but all of the presentation was like a fighting game where there's like a grid. There's like, six enemies. It's like choose the enemy that you want to fight. And then you would choose them and they would like have some like pithy remark like, I'm gonna crush you. And then
Did they have like the little beat 'em up like meters and stuff?
Yeah, and they even like made the areas look like a fighting game level where there's like people cheering in the back.
Oh, that's awesome.
One of the characters absolutely looks like Hulk Hogan and kind of talks like, I think called me brother or something. Like, get ready to rumble, brother.
So they really went deep on the fighting game tropes.
Yeah. And the idea with that one was you don't really level up, but you can kind of learn those enemies' special abilities.
Right.
So you start off pretty weak, and there probably is like an ideal order to do that in, kind of like a Mega Man game.
Yeah.
Where you acquire the powers, but by the end you're super powerful. So that just felt so different from everything else. And then I also did recently this Wild West one, which was like you have this big showdown. You're like in this saloon and like, oh, it's sundown or it's sun up. The bandits are going to come and take the town, and you kind of have like a certain amount of time
to like prep.
You go find stuff. You give traps to different people around the town, and apparently, depending on who you give it to, they're either more or less effective at implementing it. So I found out if you actually don't do anything, there's like 15 guys you have to fight, and it seems like super impossible.
Oh.
I did enough where I had maybe like 4 enemies.
Okay, that's not bad.
So it was doable. But that was really interesting how there were all these different possibilities of how it could play out.
Okay, that's
so
really
I'm still just really liking all the variety, how different every story feels, and I'm still very curious to see what happens in the end because as of now,
supposedly they're like going to all meld together in some way.
As of now, it's all very distinct. You are not getting a sense of how it all pieces together. So that's going to be great. One last game that I was going to mention last week, but I forgot. Power Wash Simulator.
Yes.
Which is out. We got codes from Square Enix for this, but this is also on Game Pass.
Right. This game is so relaxing.
We played this at Summer Game Fest, and they actually had a real power washer, which you almost splashed your white shirt with dirt.
With like mud.
LA street filth. Like, where'd you get this dirt? They're like, don't worry about it.
It's outside. Yeah, exactly.
We rolled it around in a gutter. I am going to put this close to the Overcooked camp, where I can appreciate this for what it is.
Right.
It's very well done, but it's too close to
real life.
An actual real life activity.
Do you power wash your...
I don't actually.
I was going to say, like, you're like power washing your like porch or something?
But if I had the urge to power wash, I would probably prefer to do it in real life because I would be getting some real world benefit out of it.
Okay.
But it is satisfying. Like you start off in like this backyard that's completely filthy.
Yeah.
And you just have to clean it off.
Yeah.
And,
or like the car.
Yeah, cleaning a car.
Yeah.
And there's all these different nozzles you can get or attachments. You can get soap.
And like when you do it, it has like a cool chime.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this part is clean now.
Right.
Which is very appealing.
So it kind of has something similar to that game Unpacking, where there's just...
It like clicks in.
Inherent satisfaction to taking it from one state to the next. But again, it was just a little too close to real life for me. So
for me, it's like my biggest compliment I can give this game is that I almost fell asleep playing it.
Great.
Because it is so relaxing that you're just kind of like zone out, you know? And you can just like kind of mindlessly do it and turn your brain off.
Right.
And it does feel almost like meditative in a way. Mm-hmm. I think in small bursts, it's great because you're like, let me just like stop thinking about work, stop thinking about whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Just have like a nice Zen moment power washing this car.
Yeah. So I think I'm definitely in the minority for saying that I think it's too close to real life because I see a lot of people really love this game.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Definitely good to check out.
Yeah. That's it.
Wow.
It's a lot of games.
And well, it's going to be just...
I got through a lot of games.
It's going to be nothing but Xenoblade for the next month, so...
I feel good about myself.
Enjoy it while you can.
I'm going to play As Dusk Falls as my Xenoblade palette cleanser.
Great.
Because I like to multitask games. So if I do that, like in between Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Playings.
Great.
Yes. News?
That's right. On to the news.
News.
Here we go. All right. This was a big story from Jason, our friend Jason Schreier.
Jason. Yes.
Got some news on Grand Theft Auto 6. And, typically we don't want to get too deep into the rumor sphere.
Yeah.
But Jason Schreier, I put in the Jeff Grubb category of people I trust who would not run stories unless they had a lot to back it up.
Yeah,
so,
some source.
And we know Jason really well.
Yeah,
and
great.
he is extremely thorough and extremely good. So
true.
I feel like this is on the right path. So basically, will star a pair of characters loosely inspired by Bonnie and Clyde. What do you know about Bonnie and Clyde? I feel like I don't know enough about Bonnie and Clyde.
Well, I know the basics where it's like...
What is that? They were robbing banks?
They were like like boyfriend, girlfriend. They went around like robbing banks, and then at the very end they both got shot.
Now, are they the ones that drove off a cliff, or is that Thelma and Louise?
That's Thelma and Louise.
Did
they got shot by the cops.
Did they have any relation to Bonnie and Clyde?
No.
Oh.
Different era.
Okay, I'm confused.
Bonnie and Clyde, and I feel like she was like the mastermind behind it. She kind of like egged him on.
Yeah.
And he was like so in love with her.
Right.
Like he was like, all right, I'll just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And they they like made off with like tons of cash, and then
all right. So they got
shot by the police.
Grand Theft Auto fare.
Yeah.
So some other stuff. Jason had female character will be Latina. The game's story will take place in a fictional version of Miami.
Okay.
I guess that's Vice City.
Right.
And its surrounding areas. And I think he also mentioned a detail of like they might add more locations to this as time goes on.
I'm very interested in this.
It's been a long time. It's amazing when you think about when
last
GTA 5 came out.
It's been forever, right?
Did you like GTA 5?
I'm having a hard time even like remembering.
Yeah.
Maybe no, because it's not memorable.
I didn't really love it. This is like the best-selling game ever. And I really liked.
Yeah.
I still really like Grand Theft Auto, but for some reason this one didn't really do it for me.
I feel like this one was like so different than other Grand Theft Auto games.
Well, they added all the online stuff, which is like secretly crazy popular. I don't know anybody who plays it, but like you hear about it blowing up. So I'm sure they'll do something similar to that. What do you feel about this thing of them adding more cities as time goes on?
So they're doing like kind of like a Mario Kart thing where they're just like adding content.
Or this rumored new like Assassin's Creed where it's like, well, you'll have the game that'll just be your hub for all content
Assassin's
going
Creed.
Forward, and we'll just add these big chunks.
That might be the way people do it.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's not a bad idea either. Why not? You could just iterate on that. On that like central core game experience.
The Miami detail, it's like, you
need to have it in a place where it has that vibe, though.
I know, but it's like, aren't there more... This is like American satire, but aren't there more American cities they could do instead of just revisiting the couple that they have already... Like, they did New York, they did L.A., they've done Miami, they're going to do Miami again. Obviously, Vice City was set in the 80s, but I don't know.
80s in Miami is a vibe.
It's like... No, but it's probably not going to be the 80s. It'll be modern Miami.
Oh, modern.
So it's like, I would just like something a little more fresh.
What city do you want it in?
I don't know. I'm not Rockstar Games.
Utah?
What? Utah?
Arizona?
I don't know.
Desert? Or like mountains?
I don't know.
It needs to have like kind of like that, like gritty.
It definitely needs to have
like an edge.
A big personality.
Ooh, New Orleans.
Vegas? New Orleans? Yeah.
Vegas?
Yeah.
Vegas would be
Vegas
good.
could be cool.
All right, well, we're not Rockstar Games, so.
Did San Andreas have a Las Vegas? That did have a big... That had San Francisco.
Yeah.
I think that might have had Vegas.
It might have had a little Vegas, yeah.
Well, I'd rather them go back to Vegas than Miami.
Okay.
I don't know.
Have you ever been to Miami?
I haven't, actually.
I haven't either.
No.
All right.
And then apparently this is coming out by 2024, which is an awful long time from now. So.
Yeah. So that's probably why we don't have any news about it. But it sure is interesting.
But by the time this podcast is out, these new Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks will
also be out. Yeah, we finally got that update.
People in our Discord, like daily, were like living and dying with like is the news coming out today.
Yeah.
Is today the day.
It's today the day. I literally read this as Nintendo Minute Tour. Sorry. I was like, what?
But I'm happy for those people in our Discord who can finally...
I'm going to play it.
Well, we're absolutely going to play it.
It's going to be fun.
Do you have thoughts on this list of tracks? So it's Sky High Sunday, which I guess is an original track. Calamari Desert from N64.
That's a good one.
Mario Circuit 3 from
Classic.
SNES. Mushroom Gorge from Wii. Sydney Sprint from
Which is
Tour.
Tour,
Waluigi Pinball from DS. Snowland from GBA. And New York Minute from Tour.
I think it's a great mix of tracks. Seems like it's a good spread from different systems. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be doing like those like sort of city-specific tour tracks, which is always fun. We like the Paris one from the first.
Those were fun.
I thought those
Paris
were
and Tokyo?
The Tokyo
Those were
one.
good,
Those
yeah.
were great. So excited to see that brought into Mario Kart 8 since I've not played Tour, so I've not seen these tracks. Yeah, I mean, it's none of it is like super like surprising to me or anything like that, but it's
I mean, these are good tracks.
Good tracks.
I'll be excited to try the Tour tracks for the first time. Mushroom Gorge, I have good memories of. Mario Circuit, Calamari Desert, I like those. Waluigi Pinball, I don't remember that well. People seemed excited for that. I've seen some people getting a little tired of like, oh, is it really just remade tracks? Do you care?
I don't care.
I don't care either. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I just want it all in one place.
Yeah.
Just give it to me.
And I mean, we've got a lot more tracks to come after this.
Right.
So I guess you can start your countdown for Pack 3 now. Is it today?
Is it today?
Is today the day?
You got to start it like at least like a day after this pack launches.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think so far it's been fine, and I thought that they were going to do them a little bit closer together, so I'm a little surprised that it's like kind of a little bit more spread out, but
whatever.
it's fine. Yeah, it's all
No,
good.
it's very clear this is the scope of what this is. It's mostly remade stuff, and I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, same here.
This was a fun little bit of news. The Backbone, which is that little phone controller, which I have. They're working with PlayStation on a PlayStation-specific version
I'm pretty excited
of
about this.
Are you getting one?
I want to, yeah.
Great.
I want to get one because I hope my phone is big enough. I don't have the big monster iPhone that you do.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, do you mean to read text or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It depends on the game.
It depends on the game. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have a way to play PlayStation games like on the go like this.
Yeah.
And those are, I feel like, the ones that are like a bit more long. And if I'm traveling or something like that, it'd be nice to have that as an option.
I played pretty much all of Yakuza Like a Dragon on the Backbone.
Oh,
and
see,
I didn't really have any issues with it.
Yeah. That would be great.
I don't think, I mean, the normal Backbone is black. This one is white. Aside from that, I don't think there's really anything different about it.
It looks really pretty, though.
They said they were adding like a PlayStation thing to their app, which honestly, you don't need to use that app.
Okay.
But I think it's just good for more people to get exposed to this.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think remote play, again, is something that maybe people dabbled with and weren't satisfied with. This, to me, totally solves that problem.
It really works.
So I'm a little surprised that maybe Xbox didn't get this going first, this kind of partnership.
I know. I am too. They're all about this kind of stuff. So, like,
and I've seen
gaming, whatever.
I mean, they've definitely tweeted or talked about the Backbone 2 as a good solution.
Yeah.
There's another one from Razer that people seem to like as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's other solutions, but I think this is probably the best one.
Yeah. You've dabbled with several of these options, and I think this might be
this is the one.
Yeah.
And then here's a story that you found, which is a new game's coming from Keita Takahashi, who's the creator of Katamari Damacy.
Yes, yeah. We love Katamari, obviously, with little Prince here in the background. But this was in the Annapurna Direct.
Yeah.
I'm calling it that. I think it's a showcase that they did. But apparently there is a new company that he's under called Uvula.
I feel like he's been using that name for a little while.
Has he? Okay.
I think so.
This is the first I've heard of it. I might have not been paying close attention, though.
His last game, Watum, I didn't get a chance to play because it was only on PC. I was waiting for it to come out on any console, but it didn't. So
yeah, I would love to just understand what's going on and if this new company is going to be.
I mean, it seems like he's a big enough name developer where no matter how weird, and it's going to be weird, no matter how weird it is, there would be an audience for it.
Somebody will be an audience. Yeah, somebody will be an audience.
His game after Katamari, Nobi Boy,
Yeah.
Absolutely the strangest game I ever worked on. Where you're like stretching.
Oh, that's right.
And the cumulative, it's like online, it's tracking how much stretching was done and you were trying to go in real world distance.
Okay, yeah.
From like Earth to different like planets and stuff. But there was no point to it beyond that. It was so weird.
But I love it.
I
love
so
the
weird.
weirdness
But yeah, I will play literally anything that he does.
He's amazing. Yeah. So I'm like curious about this,
Yeah, he's very much, like he would have been a good fit at Nintendo where they're like, we actually don't want people who are like gamers.
Yeah.
Like, he's an artist.
He's like an artist.
He is a proper artist.
Yeah.
And he just brings such a unique guy to games.
Exactly. So we'll be waiting. Hopefully the game will come to
yes, please.
console or somewhere where it's a little bit easier for more people to play it. You know? I mean, no knock on the PC gamers, of course, but it's hard. It's hard for me. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's the news.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's this Pokemon thing, which we'll probably have a reaction video up now, because that's happening the day that this podcast comes out.
Yes.
So after you listen to this, go watch that.
Busy Thursday, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Okay. Questions from our Patreon community. Again, we get all of our questions from Patreon.
And hopefully we'll grow that more with the new level 1 tier. We can't wait to hear your questions.
I have to say, we have some quite long questions this week.
All right.
So I'm going to make you read some of these.
All right.
First one's short, though. From Brooke Obscura, do you have any fond memories of video game gossip from the schoolyard?
Oh, the video game gossip. I guess, what does video game gossip?
So I've got an example for you.
Okay.
Now, typically, Mortal Kombat is the fighting game that had a lot of gossip because it's like, oh, you can do this move, and it's like, can you, can't you?
Oh, I see.
I don't know. I experienced this actually with Street Fighter 2, the arcade version.
Yeah.
Where there were people who were like, I saw this guy do this move with Guile where he could, like, quote, handcuff himself to another character and they would be, like, stuck together. Or, like, oh, actually, Chun-Li can throw these projectiles. And I never saw this myself, but this other kid was like, I saw this with my eyes. So what's going on? And I was like, that's not a move I'm aware of. I haven't read about this or heard about this anywhere. What's going on? I don't know what the story was, but that was some like widespread rumor, these moves.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like a test version of the game that people were doing. Maybe somebody in the comments can explain what that was about, because that was at the time, those were very widespread rumors about Street Fighter 2.
That's true. I feel like it was a lot of, because it's like pre-internet.
Especially for arcade games.
Yeah. It's like, you see it once, and it's pretty hard for you to like validate it.
It's a big investment to actually try this stuff out. It's not like, oh, I bought this game and now I'm going to play it nonstop for 48 hours.
And I'm going to try to break the game or hack the game or whatever. Yeah, that's true. I think that's a good example. I think for me, it was more like Zelda games where it's like, have you, like, where are you in the game? Like, have you found this item? Have you found this secret? And there was no internet. So like your only source was from like a passed around copy of your Nintendo Power. Yeah. If you can't get through the puzzles. Yeah. Or just like listening to or like asking your friends, that are also playing. Yeah. So I definitely had a lot of those when I was growing up on the playground. But video game gossip. It's a good one.
Kai X asks, ignoring environmental impact, what is your favorite game cartridge or disc design? For some reason, I have always loved the heft and shape of SNES cartridges. I mean, it's got to be the GameCube, right? It's so cute. Those little discs.
Oh, the tiny discs.
Yeah, they're so little.
Those were pretty cute. I do love like an old school NES cartridge though. Like it's very, the heft is good. It has like sort of this substantialness about it where you like when you hold it and you like chunk it in there, it feels good,
I have mixed feelings about the NES design because I did often end up in I need to blow in this situation. It doesn't work.
Even the blowing feels nostalgic and like fun now, but I know it was annoying before.
I think I like also the original Game Boy. It just feels like it's like the right size. Oh, yeah. When you put it in, there's like a nice, like satisfying, like it's in there very sturdily.
Yeah, I really like that. In there nicely.
I'll be honest, like I love, the function of the Switch cartridges, but they're too small.
They're like, I feel like
it's easy to lose it.
Your hands just
it's like just blow away.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Yeah, so I mean, it's nice that they found a very small form factor that works for that system.
Yeah,
and that we're not on some like again the UMDs No, thank you.
No.
That's not my favorite.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the PSP also had like basically like or the Vita had like a memory card.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't love that.
It's like a micro SD card.
Yeah.
That thing is
it's
like,
too small.
if you lose it, oh man, you're never finding that again. Like ever.
Yeah.
Ducatista. Were either of you at the 1990, 2015, or 2017 Nintendo World Championships? What were your thoughts, experiences, and involvements? I hope we haven't seen the last of NWC. I was at 2015 and 2017.
Yeah, we were very involved in those.
I actually hosted the beginning of one of them.
Like the pre-show.
The pre-show.
Right.
Yeah.
Of 2015, I think.
Yep, me and Eric Pearson.
Yeah.
Good times, Eric.
So
good times.
So 1990 is the classic one. 2015 was at an E3.
Yep.
And that was the first one, it's been 25 years.
Yeah,
and
we brought back some of the people from 1990.
That was fun. Yeah.
And they were like special guests.
Right.
And it was really fun.
Yeah.
We have the shirts. I still wear that shirt.
Yeah. And then 2017 was like kind of like a made-for-TV kind of special.
Yes.
In New York, which was not associated with any big game release or...
It was just a standalone event.
E3, it was just a standalone event.
Yeah. Yeah, 2015 was really cool because it was, again, the first time it came back after a long time. There was a lot of nostalgia for the event. I think there was a lot of attention to like kind of bringing back some of the nostalgia from the event. So there were some games that they competed in that were like from the 1990s Nintendo World Championship. But the biggest surprise was the Mario Maker levels.
That was really cool.
And that was built by two guys in the treehouse that were like best friends. And they basically got so good and so deep into building these Mario Maker levels. I mean, it was just the most like fun thing to watch because it was so surprising and you just never knew what was going to happen. And I think that was the show stealer that no one expected. Like you expected some classic game to be the star, but those treehouse made levels that these two guys made was like by far the coolest thing that I think anyone, and me included, we have ever seen. It was awesome.
Well, I think that was the big difference between 2015 and 2017 was, Mario Maker wasn't really out yet.
That's right.
So it was, I think everybody associates the 1990 event with The Wizard, the movie, where he plays Mario 3 for the first time.
Right.
And there was an expectation of like, all right, there's going to be something people don't know that they haven't played yet to kind of even the playing field.
Right.
And that game was absolutely that. 2017, I don't remember really having that. And it was more of a like all generations, and there were some strange selections, I thought.
I thought so too.
I didn't love the 2017 event, to be quite honest.
I think the 2015 event was, obviously the 1990 event was great, and I wasn't there. But, I watched the movie. But the 2015 event I thought it was amazing. Like it really did like check the boxes of what I think we wanted to accomplish.
I mean, it had been 25 years, so there was enough nostalgia built up.
Exactly.
2 years later, though,
it's kind of like...
It kind of felt like...
Yeah, unless you were going to be doing an annual thing, you sort of set up a series, then it would make sense for 2017 to happen, or like something like 2017 to happen, but it wasn't that. So it felt kind of weird and like why is this happening?
It didn't really
now?
hit like the other one did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And also those events are a lot of work. So you really start to wonder like, why are we doing this?
Exactly. What's the point of this?
What is the objective? As we would so often be asked.
As we would be asked, yeah. What is the ROI?
What's the objective for this? Remained unclear to us.
Yeah.
Cosmic Crab is a new person that I haven't seen a question from.
I love the name.
So welcome, Cosmic Crab. Hello, Kit and Krysta. You recently mentioned how Nintendo has become more closed off to the public and that Nintendo Minute was one of the last places where the company had a social presence. Had you not left, do you think at some point in the future they would have shut down Nintendo Minute? Did you ever get the sense in the later years that Nintendo was concerned about the series? What do you have to say about that?
Nintendo Minute had been going for a pretty long time at that point. I will say that I think in the 2 years before we left Nintendo, that's when I really started to feel the squeeze of it being more and more just closed off to new ideas and more and more like careful about putting people out there to represent Nintendo. I would say after Reggie left, there was a lot of resistance to like putting Doug out there.
Yeah.
Like even developers, they were like, no, we can't put these developers out there. We have to just focus on the game. So this resistance of like attaching a human to anything Nintendo related was strange and definitely started developing in those 2 years before I left. I felt like Nintendo Minute always got like a weird pass because we had established such great relationships with people and there was a lot of trust built in the show and I think in us. And we constantly, when we did Nintendo Minute episodes that were previews of games or games where we did feature developers, just like really good feedback of like, oh, you guys did such a good job. Like, thank you so much for like having the show available and showing the game in this way in a very like human, normal way. That's not like trailer that's been produced and scripted or whatever. So I don't think they would have canceled it. We might have had some discussions about how to evolve it for like how people consume media or content, but I didn't get the sense that they're like looking to shut it down.
I agree. I think, there may have been a feeling of like the walls closing in because of guidelines. Like, for example, like we used to always have ourselves in the thumbnails. And at one point they were like, yeah, you can't do that anymore.
Right.
Because it's like, it's not about you. It's about the game. So it's like,
that's
right,
fine.
Whatever. Or there were a couple episodes where we did get in a little bit of trouble because it was like, oh, you weren't supposed to do this for the IP. This is breaking a guideline, but it was a guideline we didn't know about.
Right.
So it's like, well, now we know.
Mm-hmm. Character brackets.
Thanks for telling us
like
after the fact. Yeah.
Right.
So, but we did mention this before. Is like I did start to get some weird comments from people of like, hey, you're climbing the corporate ladder, and maybe your time is better spent on something else than this, which
that's true.
I always thought was ridiculous because I was able to do, my quote real job and that with no problems. Mm-hmm. And I thought that this gave me a unique perspective on, what we were doing in social media and frankly gave me good credibility with our team to not just be one of these managers who's just like,
totally out of touch
of like, no, I'm making a contribution myself and I'm, continuing.
You're understanding the people watching.
I'm continuing to learn myself and I'm not just, trapped in these ivory tower meetings, putting down these decrees. So
asking what is the objective every day.
So I would have, I always thought those were ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
would not have reacted positively if that had continued more forcefully. Link asks, what are your thoughts on data mines in comparison to leaks? Very interesting.
Yeah, data mines, huh?
Well,
I
guess you could say they're both self-inflicted. I mean, a leak is more of a mistake that happens, although there's sometimes people can get one out of you. The data mine
is very deliberate.
We started experiencing those, and we very quickly told the developers, like, stop doing this. People are getting at all of this information in the games.
I mean, if you put it in the game, they're going to find it.
But it still happens. Now, this is where I really wish I knew more about development, because there must be a reason.
That you put it in?
The message got through. That, if you put it in, there's a risk
find it.
that is almost 100% that people are going to find there if it's not announced content. But it keeps happening.
Yeah.
So
why?
Like
you have to weigh that then. Like on the development side, there must be a reason that is enough of a good reason to outweigh the risk of it being mined.
Right.
So maybe they just don't care. I don't know.
Well, they definitely care. It might just be like we have to do this.
We just know their option.
Sort of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel bad when there's a data mine out there because it's like this feels like it could have been prevented if you truly cared enough to keep this 100% under wraps.
There's got to be a way. And I feel like again, data mines are like if it's in the game and you have the ability to get it out.
Yeah.
You have a certain skill set to do that.
I do wish they never did tell us like, oh, there's this update that has this hidden content that's probably going to get data mined. They never told us that.
So it was always a surprise.
It was always like, oh no, kind of moment.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So similar but different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not as I don't get as mad about data mines as
because you're not the one getting in trouble.
That's true. There's no way I could have mined it.
Why did you
I don't have this skill set.
Why did you do it? Why?
It wasn't like it wasn't my people that did it. You know, a leak is like whenever there's a leak, the first person they point at is our team.
I know.
So it was like, it's got to be somebody in the media.
Oh, the media.
It's got to be a creator that leaked it. And we're like, why would you think that?
It never was.
It never is. It literally 100% is not.
It never is. Yeah.
It's always Europe, actually.
Ouch.
So then, like, I always feel like leaks. And I'm like, oh no, here comes data mines. I'm like, not my problem. All right. Anyways, I will read the next one.
You read this next one, please.
You can read the other long one.
Yes.
From Paul Gale Network. Hi, Kit and Krysta. One of the most beautiful things I've seen in gaming is the Xbox Adaptive Controller. I've trained a lot of people over the years, with many having certain physical limitations, cerebral palsy, multiple sclerosis, post-surgery woes, etc. And love seeing companies not forget about this market. Nintendo did wonders for many without fine motor control with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, but Microsoft really went specific for the disabled demographic. During your time at Nintendo, do you recall how the company reacted to Xbox Adaptive Controller or drew inspiration to put some R&D into their own comparable device? The more options for people, the better. Thanks. Agreed.
So I think overall, Nintendo's been very late to the accessibility.
Oh, yeah. I think Xbox does the best.
Category.
Does the best. They not only have this, but they have hearing impaired, all of the different...
PlayStation also, like their big first-party games have it as well.
Yeah, and it's like, sometimes it's the first screen you see, too.
Right,
It's like, choose your...
So now, there's some Nintendo games that have, different color options.
Yeah.
But that seems to be it, whereas these other games have so much else. And one that I use all the time is the biggest... I'll just choose the biggest subtitle option.
Me too.
I always play with subtitles, and sometimes it's like even the normal ones. Like I don't wear glasses.
Good eyesight,
and I was like, I can't really read this.
I can't read anything. Yeah. I have a big issue with that.
So this is a really good trend, and like different difficulty categories, or being able to tweak the difficulty of certain things. I love that.
Yeah, and even like button mapping or controller mapping, like really specific controller mapping.
Right.
If you have a limitation, or you just want that feature,
so,
let us.
I always wondered why that was. Like, is it cultural? I'm sure the Treehouse is hammering on this point.
Yeah, they do a lot.
And I don't know if it's like, it's like, is it worth the resources to put this in? Or people are going to actually use this? I don't know, but I feel like they need to... It never
seemed like it was a priority for Nintendo, though. That's the thing. Yeah. Like, it feels like a priority for Xbox and for PlayStation, but it's never... When we were there and we would sort of bring up things like this, I never did feel like...
It was like,
Yeah, they kind of got the brush off a little bit.
There was interest around this Xbox controller, though.
Yeah.
And I think the reaction was like, wow, that's a big... Investment for, an unknown, how big is the group that's going to want to use this? We don't know.
Yeah.
So I think it was just like, it was like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was,
and I never got the sense that they felt compelled to do it.
Right. It was sort of like a, wow, why?
Yeah.
Like, why would you?
Right.
Which is kind of disappointing, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe take the dollar signs out of the eyes for a second and think about the community that wants to enjoy these. If your company motto is to put smiles on faces, I mean, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did kind of... It was a disappointment sometimes with these kinds of things. And yeah, exactly. Like there was interest, but interest in the sense that why would they make this?
Yeah. So, as these things go, I hope that eventually there will be some sort of a breakthrough where it becomes a more standardized thing.
Right.
Where it's like, all right, here's the bare minimum we're going to do for every game. And, there may be some games where we really go above and beyond.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
They may never get as far as... Sony or Xbox, but there's a long way they can go.
Yeah. At least try.
Yeah. All right. Popple has the next question. Scenario.
Ooh.
An acquaintance of yours wants to change up their life and start playing video games.
Oh, change their life. Okay. Yes.
They've never played any game ever before, and they also have never seen anyone play any other game, so they're truly starting from ground zero. On second thought, maybe they're an alien and not an acquaintance. Either way, it doesn't matter. Question. What 3 to 5 video games do you suggest for this person to start out with? The ultimate goal is for them to branch out from your initial suggestions and for video games to be a passion for the rest of their life.
Oh, wow.
In this scenario, you can assume that you have easy access to every console system game ever created to choose from. To me, this seems distinct from what are the 5 best games of all time, as those may not necessarily be the ones a brand new gamer should play, but you can answer however you want. Very interesting question.
This is a great question. I love this question.
So aliens land on Earth and they want to get into games.
Yeah, yeah. What are the 5 games you give them? I feel
like you need to have some sort of progression of difficulty and complexity.
I was going to say the difficulty is going to be a big issue.
Yeah.
Like you can't start them the way we started with like Super Mario Brothers, because I think that's too hard. And like probably as good as those games are, it might be a turnoff for somebody that has never touched a video game before.
Or I think even like a transition from 2D to 3D.
It's hard. It's hard for me. Yeah.
So I think like I would want there to be some sort of a 2D game before you get into the world of 3D.
Yeah.
So you're being exposed to different things, but you're also having the ability to acclimate.
Yeah. So the game maybe that I would start with, and this is not even a game that I love that much, but I feel like is a very good entry point, is Tetris.
I was going to say that would be the first game.
Really? Oh my gosh. Okay. And we both don't really like Tetris that much.
Or should it be like a phone game where it's like there's no buttons, there's no controller, it's just like literally like
yeah.
To
Candy Crush.
To again just be like, all right, don't worry about this controller. Yeah. This is as intuitive as it gets.
That's true.
And then the next thing is Tetris.
Yeah. It's got to be something like that where like I can't even think of a mobile game that is like popular right now that would fit that bill. Like it'd be like in the Bejeweled. That's like such an old game, but like Candy Crush, Bejeweled kind of.
Mobile No. All right, we're just going to normal Tetris.
Let's do normal Tetris.
Yeah, start with normal Tetris.
You don't want them to be like, this is a crappy mobile game.
Because I actually don't like Tetris on a phone. That's harder, I think.
It's actually harder. I mean, you just, flipping.
All right.
Minimal buttons.
We're ripping off the Band-Aid. We're going right to a controller.
Tetris. That's our first game. One. And then the second game, they love Tetris. They totally understand the buttons.
That. Right.
They understand the value of, entertainment of video games. Okay, that's good. So the next game, what would that look like? Would you stick in 2D? I think maybe you stick in 2D.
So you just said not a 2D Mario game. I think that's a pretty good next step, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it does.
I wouldn't start them on a 2D Mario game, though. So what is what I said?
Well, what would you do?
We started them on
it's
Tetris.
The next game. I see.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's like one of the, NSO version where you can rewind to limit the frustration.
Oh, and then save points.
Or maybe like... again, people don't love these. A new Super Mario Bros. Game that has multiplayer, so you can help somebody. Like, let me carry you through this area. You can watch me, and we can do it together.
Okay.
Some 2D Mario game.
Yeah, I think a more modern one is good.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't go like any one before Super Mario World. Super Mario World's pretty hard, actually. It's not that. Maybe like New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Okay.
Would be a good entry point.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's not bad.
Yeah.
You could bubble.
Oh, yeah.
The bubble is good.
Super Guide?
The Super Guide?
Get the Super Guide, yeah.
Luigi will help you, yeah. Okay.
Okay, after that.
I think we're ready for 3D.
We're ready to expand.
I think we're ready for 3D.
Yeah.
At this point.
I think a Mario Kart. I think Mario Kart 8 could be good.
Mario Kart 8 could be good.
Because you are going into 3 dimensions, but it is something that people are, well, if you're an alien, maybe not, but a lot of people are familiar with driving.
Sure.
So it's like, all right, I'm doing something that I know,
right?
But I'm adding like gamey twists on it. Where I'm racing, I have these items.
The baby mode.
Yes, where it can drive itself, and you can ease yourself into it that way.
Yeah, and you can do the actual steering motion.
That's not helping. We're not doing that.
If you do that with baby mode, it's actually okay. I was thinking either that, or do you give them like a life sim kind of game, like Animal Crossing?
Ah. Okay.
Where it's like, again, like these, maybe not alien, but these are things that you might know, like you know what a vegetable looks like, and like a fishing.
All right. Yeah.
It's a little different.
Okay. So I think that's good. I still like Mario Kart. Ultimately, I want the last one to be like
an
some
RPG.
There's some sort of an open world game.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, we're putting it all together here.
Yeah.
You have freedom,
Yeah.
but you need some complex movements, some
I think
complex
Animal
controls.
Crossing is good for that.
I think I need a game to work from Mario Kart to that, but I don't know exactly what it should be.
Yeah. You can't give them Breath of the Wild right now.
No.
That could be the last game.
No.
Like
Yeah, I guess I'm missing one game.
A game in between. Like you need like a 3D platformer.
Okay.
I think would be good. Not Super Mario 64 because that game's
like a
too
Mario
hard.
3D World maybe.
Like a 3D World is not bad. Yeah.
Sure.
I would love to expose this person to like other art styles besides Mario though. Yeah. That would be
nice. Then feel free to choose something else.
Okay.
Feel free.
Like, oh man, like it would be cool for them to like experience like a Final Fantasy or
Okay.
But that's hard. That's a really hard game. Like that's a hard one to get into. Or even like a Diablo. Point and click is not bad.
Okay.
Actually.
Yeah.
So that might be okay.
All right.
Yeah, but like the final game, I agree, should be like some sort of open world game where you're like left to your, not like Elden Ring or anything like that.
No, nothing crazy.
Yeah, but
hard.
Something that you have choices and stuff.
Yeah.
This is a good question. I like this question.
In the comments, tell us what game we're missing because it's definitely one.
Yeah.
Slow Bro. It's another long one. Buckle up. Hi, Kit and Krysta. I was just catching up on some podcasts that I missed, and you guys were recently heaping some well-deserved praise onto Retro Studios for their work with Metroid and Donkey Kong. That got me thinking about Rareware, as Retro in many ways feels like a reincarnation of Rare to me. We all know that modern Rare isn't what it used to be, which is just the natural way of things, but with projects from Playtonic and Chameleon Games falling short of expectations despite having ex-Rare devs leading the way, I've realized how important OG Rare's group dynamic really was. To be clear, Yooka-Laylee and Tamarin were not bad games, but to me they just lacked the magic of heyday Rare. With Retro approaching close to a decade since their last release, and 15 years since Corruption, they've probably had some pretty significant personnel changes. Do you have any concern that they may be past their prime, capital P prime, get it? Oh, good one.
That's a good one.
At this point. Or is fresh talent just what they need to revitalize the series after this long hiatus? While I mostly have faith that they will knock the next 3D Metroid out of the park, sometimes I can't help but wonder how this will play out. Mm-hmm. I've certainly thought this.
Yeah, me too, of course. I mean, it's been so long. It's definitely, I'm sure you're right that there's been, personnel changes or even like changes to the original concept and all that stuff.
To be fair, though, this happens to every team.
Exactly.
And every company. There's, people come, people go, there's change.
Yeah.
Even, in the original, from Prime 1 to Prime 3, I'm sure there was significant change that happened. What Rare does, and all these Nintendo studios have going for it is they're always matched up with somebody in Japan who has that institutional experience. I was going to say,
it's like they're not flying solo here.
Right.
They really are controlled tightly by the development team in Japan.
Yeah.
So it's for better or worse. I'm sure there is a lengthy process in which they get ideas through and when portions of the developed game gets approved. So it's not like they're just like left to their own devices for like 6 years and they're like, okay, here you go, here's the next Prime, So I and I think a lot of that institutional knowledge is still at in Japan, so they're probably fine.
Yeah, so Mr. Tanabe's worked very closely with Retro on all of their or most of their previous projects. Mm-hmm. So whether it's him or somebody else, like he will be really making sure that there's not a dip in quality or that they're going down some weird path that is not going to work. So that makes me feel very confident.
Yeah, exactly.
That the final output's going to be good. And,
exactly.
We'll meet their standard.
Yeah.
Whether it takes 10 years or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like how long it's going to take.
Yeah. Last question is from Sneezekov. Mm-hmm. Hi, Kit and Krysta. I was wondering, did you ever come across any not-for-sale promo DVDs at Nintendo while you worked there? If yes, could you tell us their main purposes and how you distributed them? Thanks. And there's an image here for folks watching on video. These are from Japan.
Yeah.
These are sort of promotional DVDs. And I've seen some people talking about these as kind of an interesting collectible.
Yeah.
Where I understand in Japan, these go out to stores and they'll
right.
like loop
they'll
them
loop
on TVs.
TVs, yeah.
And it's basically playing like trailers and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't really have an equivalent to this.
Yeah, they had a different way of distributing like promotional material to retailers in the US. Where I don't think they needed a DVD. I think they just like gave them the files and they just like did their own thing. Like it's more digital. But yes, exactly. These were just like commercials and trailers and things like that.
I do remember very early on, maybe you remember this too, there were occasionally DVDs that were like, hey, I'm so-and-so from the Treehouse, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this game.
Dan Olson on the videotape? We have that.
Well, this was during us working at Nintendo,
really?
like really early on though.
Oh, I do. It was like supposed to accompany like a review copy of the game.
I think it was sometimes for employees. It was like multi-purpose kind of thing.
Okay.
It was like for people who couldn't see it in person.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that was like we used to do that when we weren't able to bring like media to a demo.
Right.
They would have the Treehouse like film a little like primer video for them.
Yeah, but it was not meant to be played in a store or any kind of public place.
Exactly. It's like
so I don't think they were produced in large
quantities.
numbers.
Yeah.
And
it's like if you're doing like 25 preview mailings.
Yeah. It was before the time where it was easy to just have a file on your compier.
Yeah,
too.
send a file some way.
So,
right.
I mean, it's funny that they're still doing these on TVs.
We used to do like a lot of physical mailers.
I guess
remember?
you could fax it to the retailer. That's one way to get it over.
You can fax like a Morse code.
Yeah. Hey, here's
promotional
a 30 gig
video.
trailer through a fax machine. Hope you've got the next 20 years open.
It's like that, like the old school modem sound.
Yeah.
Beep.
So yeah, that's it. That is an interesting collectible, but no, I don't think we really had a great equivalent to that.
Yeah, that's so funny that people collect these. I guess they're kind of interesting.
Somebody was asking me, again, somebody who was taking note of the unboxings we were doing, like, oh, did you ever keep your press kits? Mm-hmm. It's like, no, I didn't keep those. I threw those away.
We had so many of them. We used to do so many physical
and they just seem very mundane to us, too.
Well, I mean, some of them were really cool.
Some of them were great, but a lot of times it was just like, hey, here's a letter.
And then a lot of them, a lot of media were like, can you stop sending us press kits?
Yeah.
Because it's
like too much junk.
It's like environmentally unfriendly, and you just send me the game. Like I don't need this other crap.
Grumpy.
Oopsie. I know it's a particular someone that really didn't like these. You know who you are.
Who didn't like you?
No, who didn't like those?
Oh, who didn't like me? Are you sure?
It's not my. No, I'm very sure that this person likes me.
Like those Pokémon. Please get snapped into oblivion.
Oh no! All right. Graduation services.
Now, like we said, we do have a couple. We're recording this on Monday.
Yes.
If you were if you were a later addition to our superstar tier, we'll be ready next week.
Yes. We need to get with you though, because you got to send us.
Yeah, we need some stuff.
We need your photos or your whatever you want us to put on here. So we'll be in touch.
Right.
But for now, we're going to do this One Up Club member graduation ceremony. And then, yes, Superstars will get your own expanded shout out, which would be very exciting. I'm starting right now. Here we go. Aaron Burgundy.
Aaron Hash.
Adam Edwards.
Jean Millard.
Ale Alejandro.
Alexandra Pratt.
Andre NYH.
Angela Bycroft.
Bagel.
Ben Eichhorn.
Bettina Tsang.
Brad SF56.
Candace Roper.
Christopher Lay.
Cozy Tar.
Captain Alex.
Daniel Valencia.
Dachshund.
Doodoo Face.
Douglas Chomix.
Ducatista.
Dino Punch.
Eigenverse.
Elite Peach.
Esparts 50.
Ezrato.
Furbound.
Gar.
Garrett Holfish.
Handsome Warrior.
Ian Shea.
Izzy. Or Israel or Izzy.
Jay Rando.
Jackie Z.
Jason E.
JK99.
JBJ.
Jeff Yoakum.
Jeffrey Hernandez.
Jesse Hernandez.
John Responte.
Jonathan Rowe.
Jordan Collette.
Jordan Hemmerly.
Joshua Clements.
Juji Fruit.
Just Camtro.
Kai Commercio.
Kawa 2796. Kevin Delane.
Kitterati Dance With Me.
K Madman TV.
Kyle Kretzer.
Kyle LeBouf.
Kyler Nelson.
Linnell Stickman.
Lego My Froggo.
Link.
Lit.
Luca Mania.
Lucas Pico.
Luis.
Malferink.
Mamu.
Marcelo.
Marky Man 64.
Maru Mayhem.
Matthew Rewald.
Megan.
Michael Cravens.
Michael Mazer.
Mike Chin.
Mikey.
Murph.
My Tran.
Nazar.
Nodnarb.
Panda Buns.
Parker Anderson.
Patreon user.
Paul Gale Network.
Piano Psychopath.
P.S. Wee.
Raver.
Rad State of Mind.
Rain Tech.
Rain Tech. I'm going to do jazz hands.
Rain Tech!
Until we know what we can put in here.
Okay.
Ray Charone.
Yuji Utsuho Oku.
RJ Kern.
Rocks.
Rob Osborne. Do not skip Rob Osborne.
Oh, wait. RJ Kern. Rob Osborne.
Rocks.
Ray Eshke! Woohoo!
Ryan Hayes 521.
Ryan Netta.
Sam Neeland.
Rob Safazon. Sorry.
Shinryu.
Slowbro.
Schmiggles.
Spicy Munchkin.
Steel Citron.
Switching it up _
The Shark Among Men.
Thomas Alvarez.
Troopage.
Tugs Puppy Bear.
Tyler Geis.
Ultimate Flapjack.
VGM Life.
Video Game Stupid.
Beautiful Dandy.
Virtual Bot.
Wicked Davy.
Will Ernst.
Zoodiverf.
Zen. We're missing some superstars.
We did hear from Kitterati Dance With Me, who was not interested in changing their name.
I'm not asking Kitterati Dance With Me to change your name. I'm asking anyone else on this list, please.
Dirty tactics.
To change, maybe a superstar will change.
Maybe people just aren't that interested.
Oh no.
Okay.
They're not gonna come to the PAX panel.
Wait until at the PAX panel everybody's got like a Kitterati sign. How are you gonna feel then?
Smelling salts. I need the smelling salts.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, anyways, thank you so much to our wonderful Patreon subscribers. And also, if you're new, welcome. Welcome. We love you. Thank you so much for supporting us and keeping this show going. It is patreon.com/Kit and Krysta if you want to join. New tiers. Lots of fun. Lots of cool stuff. Don't forget also to follow us on social. We are on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. It's at Kit and Krysta. And don't forget to give this podcast a thumbs up, subscribe, click that notification bell, do the things.
Leave a comment. We read all the comments. We're deep in the comments.
Oh, so deep.
I am at
so
least.
Deep
I don't know about
in
you.
The comments.
You're taking a nap.
I'm not. Reading every single one of these comments. I read all you see, all the things you say about us. Okay? All right. I'm going to wrap it up. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.